When you think it's too late to start, it's not. Trust me, I've been there. 3 years ago, I quit my full-time job to pursue music, and still I'm developing my craft. For a bit of context, I'm a keyboard player and producer, and I've been making beats since high school. When I left school, I started working various full-time jobs and didn't release any music for almost a decade. I even formed a charity which was set up to help young people realise their passions in the creative industries. Always supporting other people's projects, but never my own. While working full-time, I would always get up in the morning and practice piano before heading off to work, and maybe when I got back I would continue writing music and making beats. So I started documenting what I was making by capturing some videos and posting them to Instagram. It was never about likes or followers or anything like that. It was just basically a journal for me to document my own expressions and the things I was making. I kind of did that on and off for a couple of years, and I would receive messages from different people, including record labels. One in particular, DeepMatter, stood out to me. They were incredibly supportive and empathetic, and I'm still working with them today. The other day, I received a message on Patreon from a member who's feeling overwhelmed with certain tasks around making music, like learning to improvise. Here's what they wrote. Hey Matt, I've been feeling pretty overwhelmed recently with how to get going with learning to improvise. It feels like a massive task, and I've been questioning whether it's possible for me to make progress when there's so much material to explore, and I'm juggling a hectic work schedule and family life, etc, etc. What do you think? Is it an impossible aim? Any advice you could share about how to start this journey would be much appreciated. Thanks, man. There's so much here that I relate to that I really wanted to make a video about it. Sometimes it's fear of failure, self-doubt, or the overwhelming thought of starting something new that can hold us back. We can worry about perfection, or at least I do, lack of time or resources. But by embracing the journey and taking small and consistent steps and staying dedicated to our passions, we can make progress in whatever it is that makes our hearts sing. No matter your age, your background, or where you are in life, if you're passionate about something, just go for it. Honestly, you never know where it might lead you. For me, it all starts with a spark of an idea, which can come from anywhere really. Sometimes it's a melody, or sometimes it's a particular rhythm that I can't get out of my head. Here's a beat that I've been working on lately. I'm using drums from a sample pack called Saucy Loops, and this particular pack is called J Dilla Edition, which have some really nice hard-hitting one-shots. Cool. I'm not going to quantize it for now because I kind of like the human feel that I've just played, so yeah, let's keep it like that for now. So I'm just going to separate the kicks and snares so that it's easier for me to mix later on. Lovely. Now that I've got the drums down, I'm just going to jump over on the piano and figure out some chords and a melody as well. So I've had this melody stuck in my head and I'm just going to try and work it out here on the piano. Sometimes melodies come to me, sometimes I have to work quite hard to find them. But yeah, let's see. So I've got something like we-va-dum-we-da. And then maybe repeating that phrase, back up. So it's like, that's the first half of the melody that I'm hearing, and then maybe something like, and then just repeat. That's kind of cool. But maybe like this chord could work better. Yeah, so just those two chords seem to work kind of nice. That's kind of cool. What could we do there? Maybe like a 2-5, which brings us back to the top. Cool, let's run the drums and see if we can figure out the rhythm. Cool. So what have we got going on here? So we've got a B flat 7 sus. to A flat major 7, and then the melody's playing the sharp 11, and then repeat, B flat 7 sus to A flat major 7 sharp 11, and then we go to a D flat major 7. I'm also playing the 6 there, and then we go to a C minor 7, and then repeat D flat major 7, and then I'm playing a G minor 7 flat 5, or G half diminished, to C7, bringing us back to the top. If you're interested in finding out more about how to create chords and play chords like these, I make tutorials over on my Patreon. I'll make a full breakdown of this track that goes into the theory, that shows you the voicings that I'm playing and gives you some options for helping you to write chords like these for yourself. I'm also building up a back catalogue over there on Patreon, so you can go back through the archives and watch other tutorials like these as well. While I'm over here on the piano, I'm just going to try and improvise around the chord changes as well, just in case that comes in handy later. 3, 4. So I'm happy with the melody and the chord progression, suiting it nicely as well. And I'm just going to jump back over onto Ableton and see if we can tidy it up. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that this track is actually out now. It's called Timekeepers and it's out on all streaming platforms. So I would love to hear your thoughts about it if you have time to check it out and listen to the full thing. Hope you enjoy. I'm liking how the piano starts on the second beat for the first half, and then for the second half it's on the and of 1. Da ga da. Yeah, nice. So I'm going to see if I can play a bass line to it. I'm going to try and keep things kind of free-flowing and improvised, and I'm going to be using Teletone Audio's Retrograde Bass, which is, yeah, one of my go-to plugins for an electric bass sound. Cool. So that was pretty tame, but I think it kind of suits the vibe. I'm going to try and open up a little bit more for a potential B section now. Yeah, cool. And then let's just copy that over. So that's from there. Something like that will do for now. So for this B section, I'm not going to change chords like I usually do or come up with a new chord progression that takes us on a journey. I kind of like staying within this sort of theme that we're developing. So I'm going to see if I can open up the melody on a synth or another instrument. So yeah, basically improvising something around the theme. Let's give it a go. Cool, so I'm using the OBX from Arturia, and I'm using a preset from J3PO's preset patch. I'd highly recommend his patches for soft synths and also for analog synths as well, if you have those. So yeah, let's see if we can improvise around the theme. So I'm liking what we've developed so far. I'm just going to do a basic mix. So on the drums, I'm going to use the DS10 drum shaper just to shape the transients a little bit. I'm going to add some saturation. I've really been enjoying the Radiator plugin by Soundtoys. I've had this for years and I've kind of neglected it, but it's got such a unique tone that I just love, especially on drums. Not so much. And let's use a clean signal as well. Let's gain stage it so that the output's roughly the same as it was before, I mean. and a little bit of compression as well. Yeah, it just kind of glues the elements together kind of nicely. I love this parallel mix function as well, so you can kind of dial in the compression to taste. Cool. How about the piano? I've been loving this plugin Bloom from Oak Sound, and it's kind of like an all-in-one EQ and has a bit of a compressor built in as well, but I'm not going to engage that right now. I find the user interface pretty intuitive because you can kind of shape the different bands in a really kind of like seamless way, which makes shaping your sounds just that bit easier. Just going to cut the lows on the piano as well. Bring out the high end just a touch too. A little bit of saturation on the piano as well. Dial back the mix just a touch. Cool. Yeah, I'm thinking that's sounding quite nice. Maybe a touch of reverb would do the trick. Cool, and just as a bit of a final touch, I'm going to add some glue compressor to the mix bus. I've been really liking the sound of the SSL-G bus. Too much. Just like the API 2500, we can also dial in the mix to taste, which is really nice. Cool, and finally, I'm just adding a touch of Gullfoss, which is like an intelligent EQ. Perfect for when you're strapped for time. Cool, let's listen to what we've got. Yeah, I'm really liking the theme. Let's turn that synth up a bit. Nice to improvise around the main theme. And the piano interplays with that nicely too. Cool. So I think that's a pretty good demo. I'm going to leave it there for today. Next steps for this, I'm thinking listening to it back might include adding some Foley and other textures, maybe rhythmically as well, building up the drums somewhat more. I also think a piano solo on this might sound really nice too, and honing in on the mix as well.